Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is May 10th, 2020. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers worldwide. My name is Ronald Joseph Lin, and you are now watching Real Talk with Ronnie. Here on our program, we only engage in real talk, real news in real time. So I want to start off by thanking you all for joining me tonight. So at the top of the hour, this is what we do every single week. We go over the weekly World Coronavirus Update. So as of today, the coronavirus pandemic. In the world, there are total confirmed cases of 4,020,000 people. Out of these 4 million people that have this virus, nearly 279,000 people have died from it. So almost 208,000 people in the whole world have died because of this epidemic. In the US, total confirmed cases stand at 1.3 million people. Out of those 1.3 million, nearly 80,000 have succumbed. So nearly 80,000 people in the US have died of the coronavirus, and this is a very high number and is very sad. Let's hope this number does not increase too much more in the near future. So we have an exclusive interview with my good friend Nunzio Danzuso. Okay, so a little bit about Nunzio. I've actually known him for a very long time. He's probably one of my first friends that I met since I have been in China. I believe I met him around 2013, 2014. So I have known him for roughly like 6-7 years. He is one of my best friends out here. He is from Sicily, right, in the country of Italy. Last week, our guest was Marco from northern Italy. This week, we have Nunzio from the south. He is from Sicily. So we have a comparison between both parts, from the north and the south, and we can. And we're very thankful that Nunzio is here today to give us a little bit of an insight on what the situation is like in his part of the country. Currently, Nunzio is the director of the Senmao School teaching department in Chongqing. So Nunzio is a very talented person. He can sing, he can cook, and he can also fight, right? Later on our show, from our exclusive interview, we will see all the things that Nunzio has been doing, okay? So let me present to you the first part of my interview with Nunzio. Good afternoon, Nunzio. So thank you for joining us today. It's been a long time since I've last seen you. When was the last time that I saw you? It's been like forever, right?
Well, good afternoon, Ronnie. Thanks for this opportunity to talk into your wonderful show. Last time I was for sure over a year ago.
Yeah, it's been too long.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So Nunzio, let me just start by saying, you look great. You look very, very fit.
Thank you.
So
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So to our audience who are watching right now, please, can you please tell us about you and what you do, where you're from, and what your current job is?
Yeah, okay. So I came to China in 2011 for my PhD. My name is Nunzio, and now I live in Chongqing. I'm the teaching director of a school. We're more like a training center, specialized in sending Chinese students to Italy for their university study.
Okay.
I'm from Italy. I'm from the south of Italy, Sicily.
Okay, great. So a few days ago, I interviewed a friend of mine who's also from your country, but he's from the north. So I do know that in Italy, there is this historic rivalry between north and south.
Yeah, it's nothing serious. It's more like for kidding around. Yeah, but there is always, like in every country, there is always like a divide within some geographical regions.
Yeah, the person that I interviewed from the north was Marco. I think you know Marco, right?
I think I know that Marco. Yeah.
So you're from Sicily, and I think in popular culture, we all know that in Sicily there's a lot of mafia. Is that true?
Well, there is uh, there are criminal organizations
Right.
in Sicily, like probably in every region of Italy. The big mafia uh, was more like a phenomenon of the 80s.
Okay.
Okay, there was like um, it was a moment where the criminal organization in Sicily, also known as Cosa Nostra,
Right. The
was
Cosa Nostra.
making some sort of deal, political deal with the then main Italian party, the Christian Democracy,
Oh wow.
Democrazia Cristiana.
Christian
At that
democracy.
time, it was the main. So they had that deal. All these things are known now, but at that time, it was of course a gray business, a gray area where dark deals were
Right.
made.
Okay.
Now it's better. Now it's better. Civil society reacted against crime, so the situation is getting better. Sicily also, in the last few years, has seen great development in tourism. A lot of it's very safe. It's very safe to travel in Sicily.
Okay.
Uh, you may have heard about mafia, but actually it's a very safe place. Maybe much more safe, I would say, than some big cities like Rome or Milan. Also, the data. I'm talking about like what the data says, like the crime rates in the north in certain big cities like Milan, Turin, Rome. It's much higher than most of Sicilian cities, so
Great.
it's quite safe actually.
All right.
And
So, all right. Well,
the business is growing. It was growing.
okay. Well,
Sorry.
if I ever do go to Sicily, I'll be sure to bring you. Because if I bring you on my thing, I'll feel like a lot safer.
No problem. You will be safe even without me. I just need to make a call to my
Okay.
godfather.
All right. Just make that call and make sure that everything's fine. So, I've heard that in Sicily, even the mafia has been affected by this virus, right? Even for the mafia, their business, and they have many sorts of business. It's also being affected. So, aside from the mafia, can you please tell us what the situation is like in Sicily in terms of this virus? Like, how has it affected your hometown and the people who you know?
Well, actually, I got some good news, some recent good news, because yesterday was the very first day where um, there were no deaths in
Okay, wow.
Sicily
So that's great
since the
news.
start. Yeah, and it's one of the regions now that has been doing. I think there are only. I got some. Okay, there are at the moment actually only 20 active cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your family, like your mother and your siblings who are still there, how are they personally, affected through this virus? Like, did it impede with their normal lives?
Well, there were um, among those more affected by the epidemic because they work in the hospital.
Oh,
All
okay.
my family,
Oh, wow.
yeah, all my family work for one or another hospital in the
Okay.
city.
So your
Uh,
sister is a doctor or she's a nurse?
is a nurse. My
Okay,
sister
wow.
is a nurse.
So she's
Actually, both my sisters. I got two sisters,
okay.
and one is actually in the front line in the COVID
Wow.
department. So the other one is in well, I don't remember exactly which department. It's not the front line
Okay.
hospital department, but maybe those guys, those nurse and medical staff are those who, the people who risk more. Because well, if you're in the front line, of course, the government gives you all the protection needed. But in this month, it's been difficult to find a good mask to, you know, so they've been provided mostly with one surgical mask per day.
Okay.
And so I tried my best to send some KN95 mask for my sister and or her colleagues.
Okay, wow.
And I also got help from a Chinese friend of mine, Lulu. You might know. She's Kenyan's girlfriend, and she's a very generous person. So she donated a lot of masks to my sister, and through my sister to all her colleagues in the hospital. So
all the generous people in China, and of course,
I must say, like a lot of Chinese friends have been very helpful. They tried to help us. They could to give a hand to face the situation. So I'm glad they're my friends. They showed what friendship in a hard time means, you know.
Yeah, I think, and especially during this difficult time, it's important to have, you know, friendship and to have people there who, you know, care about you and who will go the extra mile to help you. And of course, I want to thank your sisters for being on the front line. I think they are the real heroes in this whole pandemic, right? Because they are the ones out there who are risking their lives every single day. So kudos and bravo. If I had a glass right now, I would toast to your sisters, right? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I mean, your situation and Marco is a little bit different because, as you know, Marco is from the north, so he is very close to the border of, I believe it was Switzerland, right? So he was saying that, and he also lives on the outskirts, so he's not in the actual city, so he hasn't really seen too many cases. But in your situation, it's completely different, right? Because you're right in the heart of it, and your sisters work in the hospitals. So, you know, this is a completely different type of, you know, thing. So have you heard of any crazy stories?
Well, not really crazy stories, but what's the problem is, like, from the very beginning they were badly equipped, you know, people working in the hospitals, because the epidemic came as a surprise.
Right.
Maybe shouldn't have, because in China, I mean, people knew what's going on in China, so maybe they should have prepared themselves better. But all my friends, all my family who knew that I was in Italy, in China during the epidemics, because I stayed all the time here. They wanted to hear from me, get some suggestion, you know, maybe just some comfort. And I found myself trying to educate them about masks, the important to wear masks, the different kind of masks. So I've been actually training my families and my friends about the necessity of using mask and which kind of mask they should use.
Right.
So now, thanks God, they understood.
Right.
Not just my parents or my family, but my friends. But I think all Westerners now, they understood they need to wear masks when they go outside. They need to be careful, because this is a very serious stuff.
This is a serious problem, and I know that a lot of people, and I hope that you are right, that at this point, I hope that a lot of people in the West, that they finally understand that this is no joke, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
We're staying with us. So that was our exclusive first part interview with Nunzio. And we will show the second part later on the show, on the program. Let's begin with our weekly top news update. So because this is Mother's Day, I would like to keep today's show a little bit short and sweet, all right? I know everybody probably wants to finish this show and spend time with their moms. And also because it's Mother's Day, I have made the news stories that I reported on today. I've chosen the stories to be more playful, to be stories that are more lighthearted because it's Mother's Day. So there won't be any stories of murders or of deaths or of any political scandal. The stories that we have today are going to be lighthearted stories aimed to try to make you happy. First story number one, playing video games for money rises in popularity amid the coronavirus lockdown. So we all know that in China and in the US and in many parts of the world, video gamers are thriving. There are many, many gamers. But now, did you know that you can also play video games for a living and make a lot of money from it? I mean, we all know that, but now because of this lockdown, these gamers have the opportunity to make even more money from playing video games. And if you are a person who likes to play games, and this is very good news for you, okay? So, sites such as Gamer Saloon, which was founded in 2006, allows online video game players to compete for cash prizes through either head-to-head or multiplayer tournaments, okay? So Gamer Saloon, this is a website that hosts these online video games, right? So this is a website that was started in 2006. It is actually one of the premier sites and one of the early sites to do this. So it's one of the experts. And Gamer Saloon alone by itself has awarded $67 million in prizes and has over 1.3 million registered users. So maybe some of you who are watching tonight are also members of Gamer Saloon, but as I stated, this is just one of many sites that offer these platforms for gamers. All right. So I am not encouraging you to gamble, but for those who like to gamble but have no sports to bet on or casinos that are open, this is a good way to substitute, right? You can game for money, right? Because we all know that sports betting is also a very big industry in the US and in all over the entire world. Casinos are not allowed in China, but we know that in Macau, in Las Vegas, those are the casino meccas of the world, right? So in China, particularly in China, I know that a lot of Chinese people like to gamble. Back in the States, in Vegas and in AC, you always see a lot of Chinese people going to the casinos every single weekend. And in China too, you see a lot of the people here playing those like scratch-off games and also mahjong, right? It's a very big and popular game in China. I don't know how to play it, but I see a lot of people playing it, and especially the older generation, right? The older generation, they like to play that, and they can sit in the parks and play that game the entire day, right? So if you are itching to bet online, but you haven't had the chance to do so because there are no sports that are playing now, right? All the live sports, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, or all those sports, they have stopped playing. They have stopped their seasons because of this virus. Some of them are coming back, right? And I believe it was yesterday there was a UFC fight that happened, and this fight happened without an audience. So this might be the future of these live sports games. They might have to perform or play their games in an empty stadium. That might change the way that these games are filmed, right? But I think for a lot of people that are into sports, this is at least better than nothing. Okay. News number two. Tom Cruise is planning to shoot a movie in space with Elon Musk. Now, this may not be top news, but I thought that this was fun news. So Tom Cruise, we all know who he is. He's an international superstar. And he is planning to shoot a movie in space with Elon Musk, who, as we know, is the CEO and founder of Tesla, right, and SpaceX. He's a very smart guy. More on Elon Musk next, right? But according to an exclusive from Deadline, Tom Cruise and Elon Musk are in conversations with NASA about putting together the first feature film that would, at least partially, be filmed in space. So we know that we've seen a lot of movies that is about space, right? But this will be the first movie that's actually filmed in space. So this might be the future of movie making, especially for sci-fi films. And we know that Tom Cruise has a history of making a lot of these crazy type films, right? For his Mission Impossible franchise, for the last one or the one before, he did a very, dangerous stunt where he broke his foot. So Tom Cruise is known for doing a lot of his own stunts. So this is just one of his other new ventures. So Tom Cruise is working with Musk's SpaceX to develop this action film, which is said to be in its earliest stages. So it's still in a very early stage. And it's not going to be the next installment of Mission Impossible, right? So it's not going to be one of the sequels, but it's going to be a whole different sci-fi film. So we are all looking forward to this film. And according to the reports, no studio is currently attached to this project, right? But we will see what happens next. So when this movie comes out, and I hope that it comes out, soon, probably within the next year or two, because as we know, here in China, the movie theaters are not open. They've been closed for the past few months. This is the same situation in the US and I'm sure much of the world. However, you would be happy to learn that a couple of days ago, it was mentioned that the movie theaters in China will be opening soon. I believe on May 12th. So in a few days, the movie theaters and cinemas and public places in China, most of China, will start to open up. Okay, so let's look forward to that. But because of this pandemic, none of the studios have really released any of their good films because they want to wait. Because a lot of these studios, well, all of them are losing money every single day. I read in a report that the Chinese film industry is losing billions because of this pandemic. Because of this pandemic, none of the theaters in China are open. So the industry in China is also losing a lot of money. Okay, so top story number 3. Speaking of Elon Musk, Tesla files a lawsuit and plans a pullout from its California plant over coronavirus rules. So earlier Saturday, Elon Musk, who as we know is the CEO and founder of such companies as Tesla and SpaceX, wrote on Twitter that he planned to move Tesla's headquarters and quote-unquote future programs to Texas and Nevada, and that the company's current facility in Fremont, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area would remain open for some activity dependent on how Tesla is treated in the future. In his lawsuit filed on Saturday, the suit claims that Alameda County's power grab not only defies the governor's orders, but offends the federal and California Constitution. Recently in California, the California governor Gavin Newsom had declared that manufacturers would be allowed to resume their operations. However, Erica Pan, who is the Alameda County health officer, has said on Friday that Tesla had not been cleared to reopen its facility. And this, my friends, is the reason that Tesla is threatening to leave the state of California, because they have not been cleared to open up their plants, even though that the governor of California has said that it is okay for manufacturers to resume their operations. So this is at the heart of the spat between Tesla and the state of California. Basically, according to Elon Musk, if the governor of California, if the president of the United States have cleared the way for manufacturers to open, then why is this unelected health officer from the county of Alameda, why is she preventing the company from opening? So this is the main issue that's currently going on right now, and that's why Tesla has filed this lawsuit. Elon Musk has stated that Tesla has already restarted its factory in China. So if Tesla can start its operations in China, then why not the US? Elon Musk also says that because Tesla has started their operations in China, they are well suited and they are in the know-how on how to properly and safely open up their operations in the US. So let's see where their story heads to next. It is also important to note that a lot of the politicians in the state of Nevada and Texas welcome this news with open arms. They are happy that there is a potential plan to move the Tesla plants to their states, because this of course means more jobs, right, for their people and more money for their economies. So this to Texas and Nevada is great news. To California, this might be very bad news because it means the loss of more jobs. And we all know that many state economies in the US have been ravaged by the virus. And the one thing that states do not want to hear at this point is the loss of more potential jobs. So if Tesla does indeed pull out from California and move to Texas or to any other state, this is bad news for California and good news for the states that receive these new Tesla plants. So, news story number 4. So a 5-year-old boy from Utah allegedly took his parents' car in a bid to buy a Lamborghini in California. So a 5-year-old boy was caught driving his parents' car on a freeway in Utah on Monday, apparently on his way to California to buy a Lamborghini. Now let's note that, I love the Lamborghini. It's my favorite car. If I ever have the money one day, I will be sure to try to buy one. But this boy wanted one right now, right? So troopers initially thought they had stumbled upon an impaired or drunken driver, right? Before realizing that actually their perpetrator was in fact a child. The boy told the officers that he left his home after an argument with his mother, in which she refused to buy him a Lamborghini. Can you believe that? How dare this mother? How dare her? So instead, he decided to buy his own. But, given the fact that he's 5 years old, he may not know how much a Lamborghini costs because the only amount of money that the officers found in his wallet was $3. Well, I actually find it surprising that a 5-year-old boy has his own wallet. In my case, I don't think I had a wallet until I was in high school or middle school, right? But nowadays, even 5-year-olds have wallets. So the $3 that he has in his wallet was a lot more than what I had in my wallet at the age of 5. At the age of 5, I didn't even have a wallet. So this is a cute story, and hopefully this story will warm the hearts of all the mothers who are watching tonight, okay? But even though it's cute, it's still a very dangerous story. 5-year-olds should not be behind the wheel, okay? Okay, and this brings us to our top news story number 5. So Wendy's runs out of burgers at some locations. Uh-oh. You might be thinking to yourself, how is this a top news story? It's a story about Wendy's. Who cares, right? But, I care because Wendy's is actually one of my favorite restaurants. Well, I actually love them all. I love McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Wendy's. I love them all, right? But actually, my favorite is actually Wendy's. Wendy's is my favorite. So even though I'm a fast food king, I love Wendy's. So this to me was a big story. Right, so I knew I had to report it, and actually it's a big story for I think many Americans in the US, because as you know, Americans, we love our burgers, we love our fast food. So when I saw this story, I thought to myself, okay, maybe some people might not think this is big news, but I'm sure at least the Americans, at least me, at least my close friends and my family, we would like this story, right? So that's why I had to report it. So Wendy's is pulling beef from the menu at some of its 5,861 locations in the U.S. as the coronavirus shutdowns disrupt the meat industry. Now, just to be clear, this story is not saying that Wendy's will pull all beef items from its menu. It's only saying it will pull some beef menus from its menu, and only at some of its stores, right? Not all of its stores. So the fast food chain's reduced offerings come as major grocery sellers, including Kroger and Costco, ration how much beef, pork, and poultry customers can buy. McDonald's and Burger King are also watching its beef supplies on an hourly and daily basis. More than 20 meatpacking plants around the U.S. have closed in the past 2 months, reducing pork production by about a quarter and cutting beef output by about 10%. At least 9,300 confirmed cases of coronavirus have been tied to meatpacking facilities in 27 states, and at least 40 workers have died. So, this might seem like it's trivial news, but actually it's quite serious because, as you know, a lot of the people in the U.S. eat at these restaurants, right? And if the meat is being handled by workers who are contaminated and who have this disease, who have the coronavirus, then it has the possibility to spread to a lot of people. So that's why this story, actually disguised as a trivial story, is actually quite important. Because if contaminated workers handle the food and it gets out to the millions of people who eat them, this can spread the virus very, very quickly. And as we can see, this is no laughing matter, because out of the 27 states, right, where these facilities are, there have been over 9,000 cases of the coronavirus, from the workers. And of course, 40 workers have died. At least 40 workers have died of the virus. So this is something to keep our eyes on, and we should, try to see what happens next. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so at this point, let's watch the second half of my exclusive interview with my friend Nunzio from Sicily. I know that a lot of people, and I hope that you are right, that at this point, I hope that a lot of people in the West, that they finally understand that this is no joke, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Unfortunately, I think there is a responsibility from many sectors of society, from WHO to some single politician who was like, minimizing about the epidemic, saying it was just a flu. And some even newspapers, they were giving the same newspaper, giving contradictory information, contradictory news.
In the US, a lot of the papers were at first saying, oh, this is not a big deal. It's a flu-like thing. And then a couple of weeks later, they reversed course and they said, oh, this is actually very, very serious. So yeah, in the US too, a lot of the media, I think, have a lot of blame to take on also. But I think the biggest problem is that everyone was hit by this virus by surprise, right? No one expected it, and then when it came out, everyone thought that it was a China problem, right? But then it turned out that it spread, and it's now become a world problem. So I think, this is one of those unfortunate things that I think, regardless on how prepared you think you were, in the end, no one was actually, ready for it.
And even now, I think we shouldn't, even we who are lucky enough to be in China at the moment, we shouldn't lower our guard.
People should still not let their guard down, right? Because this virus has the ability to maybe come back.
Yes, of course. And we don't know how many, we don't know if there are people carrying the virus who don't have any symptoms. So
right,
we really don't know.
There are people who carry this virus and are asymptomatic, so they have no symptoms. But the only thing that they can do is spread it, right? So this is a very mysterious virus, and it's very dangerous still.
Yeah,
okay, so Nunzio, so during this lockdown, during this Corona period, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy? Because I know back in Hangzhou, when you were here, you were very, very active in the Hangzhou nightlife scene, and also in terms of sports, right? Because you like to go to the gym and do a lot of different things. So because of the lockdown, how has this affected you personally in your social life, in your everyday life?
Well, I must say that at first I was kind of hit very hard by the situation. And, I decided not to go back to Italy, not to flee to Italy, because I knew that the risk was that I would carry the virus with me and maybe infect someone in Italy. At the time, I was here in China. I say, okay, the best thing is like to stay here.
Right.
Then I was like, as you say, like I'm a very active person, so the lockdown was hard. So for the first few weeks, I was kind of depressed, and I was just watching this apocalyptic zombie movies. Yeah. And then I decided it was time to react, and then I thought, okay, I got time, plenty of time. what can I do? And I came up with the idea of studying some music, an instrument. So I bought a guitar.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So now we can play
My
the
life.
guitar.
And now, yeah, I mean, I never had a guitar in my hands, you know,
Okay.
before the epidemic. And now it's been 2 months now, slightly more than 2 months, and I'm able to play Sunday
Okay,
already.
great. I mean,
Bella ciao.
maybe you would like to share a song and play something for us?
Maybe.
Okay, great. Wow. So here on Real Talk, not only do we get to talk to great people, we also get a live performance.
I will just make some notes to let you understand that after 2 months, you can already learn Sunday.
Okay, great.
Guitar. And let's see if you recognize the song.
Okay. You know, it's very familiar. It's on the tip of my tongue. What song is that?
It's like una mattina mi son svegliato. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao. Bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
Wow, wow.
Okay, I'm not not great musician, but you know, it's funny. I mean, at least there is something positive
yeah.
coming out from these dark times. So as Dumbledore said in Harry Potter, sometimes the light can come even at the darkest moment.
Exactly.
Something
and I
like
think
that.
that's a message that we should all try to, you know, keep, right? That during the darkest times, there's always light, right? And here, you know, during these dark times, you were able to learn something new, right? You learned the guitar, and aside from the guitar, I know you've been doing something else, something more physical. Can you share with us your new venture?
Well, yes. So well, this actually started right before the epidemic. I enrolled in a jiu-jitsu class.
Okay, wow.
For your Chinese audience, jiu-jitsu is bashiro shu.
Okay.
In Chinese, bashiro shu. Bashi like Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's a martial art. It's a martial art, and I started just maybe 2 months before the outbreak, and then to stop it. And I was really sad also about that because I liked it very much. So now I'm glad that since 1 month ago my gym opened again.
Okay.
So I've been able to restart my jiu-jitsu classes. So and actually tonight I have to go at the last class before.
Oh, and I just want to say to everyone who's watching, Nunzio here was the one who taught me how to make pizza many years ago. So I learned how to make pizza from a Sicilian pizza making expert. So you know that my pizza must be good, right? So and all the ladies who are watching, please know that Nunzio is single and he's ready to mingle. And we all know that Nunzio, he can cook, he can now play songs, and he can protect you too, right? If someone tries to harm you, he can beat them up.
And I can show you something. Speaking of pizza.
Oh, okay, wow. So do you plan on making pizza?
Make the dough. Yeah, I made the dough for milk bread.
Okay, wow.
It's an Italian special bread.
Okay,
you know, like
wow.
With some made with milk.
Okay.
Very kind of sweet, but
hey, stop talking about food. You're getting me hungry now, and it's only 3:50, so it's too early for dinner, but it's too late for lunch. So, okay, but thank you, Nunzio. And Nunzio, last question. So, do you have any sort of advice for your fellow countrymen who are in Sicily now, or for anyone else in the world who is going through this pandemic? What kind of advice can you give them to help them get through this difficult time?
Well, first of all, I want to tell everyone to stay safe. Try to use the right kind of mask. This one,
Okay.
like this cup KN95, this without filter, is protecting you and is protecting the other. So this is very important. So the first suggestion is like a safety tip. Okay. Second is like try to make the best of this time.
Right.
You are forced to stay home. So take after my example, I decided to learn an instrument. It's something I've always thinking about, and I could never do because I never had time. So this is the right time to watch the series you never watched before, to read the book, the 1,000 pages book that you always wanted to read. You never had the time to. So do it now. Do something positive, constructive.
Thank you for sharing those, thoughts. I think it's very good for everyone to be positive, and for this time to take up something new, right? In my case, part of the reason I've started to do this show was because, all I do is read news and read politics. And because of all this free time, I figured, all right, why not try to do something that's constructive and positive? So that's why I came up with this great idea. This is something that I've always wanted to, do as like a child. And now, because of this pandemic, because of this free time, it's given me the chance and the opportunity and the inspiration to actually do this. So yeah, so much like you, I've tried to use this time and make it positive. Okay, well, Nunzio, is there anything you would like to?
Thank you, Ronnie, for inviting me to your show, and thanks for this opportunity to speak my mind, and I am looking forward to seeing your show on Sunday.
Okay, great. Okay? Yeah, at Real Talk, we encourage everybody to speak their mind, right? And I encourage you to come watch my show. It's on Sundays, 8 o'clock on Beijing time. And we welcome you to join this week. Maybe you can be there live and speak to the members, and you can answer their questions and just spend time. All right. All right. Thank you for all your help, and I appreciate the time you've given us. And good luck tonight in your class. I hope you kick some ass. All right. So we will see you soon. Next time you're in Hangzhou, let me know. Okay.
Okay. Sure. I will.
All right. Bye, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Ronnie. Bye.
So that concludes my interview with Nunzio, and as you can tell, that was a very far-ranging interview. We talked about many different things, and we learned a lot from Nunzio, right? And I think the most important news, or the most important bit that we learned from my friend, is that during this time we should stay positive, and we can always use this time to learn something new. So to everyone who's watching out there, if there was ever that book that you wanted to read, that instrument that you wanted to learn, or that movie that you wanted to watch, now is the time, right? Now is the time to do that thing you've always wanted to do. So even though these might seem like bad times, this could be a blessing in disguise. This could be a chance for you to do that thing you've always wanted to do, but never had the chance to. So it's now or never. You have no excuse right now not to do that thing. So go ahead and go do it. All right, guys. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. And once again, I want to wish all the mothers out there worldwide a very happy Mother's Day. To my own mom, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you and I can't wait to see you, okay? So to everyone who's at home right now, thank you once again for watching my show. Next week and in the coming weeks, we will have more exclusive interviews with more of my friends who are worldwide. In the coming weeks, we will have interviews with my friends. One of them is named Angela. She is a Hangzhou native who is currently in South Africa. She has been stuck there for the past few months. Well, first of all, my friend is there because her fiance and her baby are in South Africa, so she is there with them. But before she was able to come back to China, the borders closed in China, and she's been locked out. So it will be interesting to see how she has been dealing with this while in South Africa, and we will be able to get a little bit of inside knowledge on what the situation is there right now. And we should also be hearing from my other friend, Stephanie Murray. She is my British friend who is currently in the UK. She lives in China, but because of the coronavirus outbreak, she was not allowed to come back in, because at that point, I believe she was outside of China. She was in Russia for vacation, and since the outbreak, she was not allowed to come back in, so she is currently in the UK. So we will hear from her too in the coming weeks. Okay, so once again, I want to thank you for joining my show tonight. It's a special Mother's Day show, so I want to wish every single mother who is out there a happy Mother's Day, all right? And let's all get through this pandemic together, okay? Let's all get through it, and let's hope that everyone keeps safe, okay? So until next week, guys, I want to thank you for watching this show. Have a good week, good night, and God bless you, okay? Bye-bye.